So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Matt right now so he can walk us through our enrollment process.
Great. Thanks, Sarah. And hi, everyone. Thanks for joining this again today. So I'm just going to take a few minutes to go into a little bit more detail on our enrollment process and go over some of the details on just our program requirements and benefits and just share a little bit more about the annual payments that we offer. So to start out here with our enrollment process, really the way the process begins is by filling out an application on our website and connecting with a membership advisor on our team, such as myself. And then within a couple of weeks after that, our team will review the application and other details about the land, complete an initial assessment to determine how much we can offer for your membership offer. Following our sharing of the membership offer, if you do decide to enroll in the program, we actually send out the first annual payment within 30 days of enrolling in the program. And then following enrollment, within a few months, we do send a local forest technician out to the property to conduct a on-site carbon inventory and basically verify the initial carbon stocks that are in the forest at the time of signing up for the program. But really from there, on an ongoing basis, the main thing that we ask from our members is really just to complete a really short annual survey. For most people, it takes maybe 10 to 15 minutes to complete, just letting us know if anything major has changed on the property. But really, for the most part, it's our job here at Forest Carbon Works to take the complexity and everything of the carbon market and really distill it down for our members into this really simplified annual survey and this annual payment that we send out at about the same time each year. We can go to the next slide, Sarah. So our program begins with this initial payment period that can last for a minimum of 25 years and then up to a maximum of 50 years, really just dependent on the preference of the landowner. So there is some flexibility as far as how long the payments from the program run for. So during the payment period, we do offer two different payment options for our members. The first is really just this fixed standard per acre amount that lasts for the entire payment period. And the second payment option is what we call our revenue share payment, which essentially allows for landowners to benefit from any increases in carbon pricing over time. And I'll go into more detail on these two payment options in another slide coming up here soon. But during the payment period, we also allow some flexibility for harvesting and sustainable forest management during that time under forest certification that comes from Forest Carbon Works. And meanwhile, our members always have access to our entire team of regional foresters who are really here to serve as a resource to help answer any forest management related questions or help advise on any upcoming harvest to make sure that it meets our program requirements, as well as that forest certification. And then lastly, here again, during that payment period is when we just ask our members to complete that short online annual survey. So immediately after our payment period ends, our members then go into what we call our monitoring period, which again, depending on the preference of the landowner, can last anywhere from a minimum of 35 years up to a maximum of 100 years, what we refer to as our extended monitoring period. And really, the purpose of this monitoring period is to, first off, make sure that the forest is being conserved to some extent into the long-term future, but also to really make sure that there is this sense of permanence and long-lasting effect from the crediting that took place on the forest during that payment period. But during the monitoring period, there is significantly more flexibility for harvesting during that time. We also don't require any forest certification during the monitoring period. And then we also no longer require that annual survey during this time. And just this last point here is that for landowners who do decide to opt into that 100-year extended monitoring period, that does make them eligible to potentially have higher increased payments during that monitoring, or excuse me, during the payment period, just as an added incentive. So here, just to touch a little bit more on the financials of the program and those two different payment options that we mentioned. Again, that first payment option that we refer to as the standard payment model, for many landowners, that standard payment can start somewhere around $10 per acre per year. However, for many landowners that have higher acreage properties or more productive land. In a lot of cases, the standard payment can actually begin much higher than that, sometimes upwards of $20 to $30 per acre per year. And then the second payment option, that revenue share model, which again really exists to allow for our members to share in any future upside in the carbon market. Really, any landowner that we work with, that we share a membership offer with, we always also include just a conservative projection of what those revenue share payments might look like in the future, just to make sure we're providing a really good look so that people know what to expect in year 5, 10, 20 of the program if they choose to opt into that revenue share model. So here, I just wanted to quickly touch on our referral commission payments, which really anyone is eligible for, whether it's a current member, a forester, realtor, financial advisor, really whoever it might be, that enrolls a landowner into our program who does decide to enroll. So just to give a quick overview of how those referral payments are structured, we pay $2 per acre for any acreage enrolled up to 1,000 acres. We then pay $1 per acre for the next 1,000 to 2,000 acres enrolled, and then 50 cents per acre for any remaining acreage over 2,000 acres. And ultimately, we were able to pay up to $10,000 for this referral payment for any individual landowner that does decide to enroll in the program. So this map here really is showing a breakdown of the acreage across the entire country that is enrolled in the Forest Carbon Works Conserve program. So as you can see from some of the darker shaded states here, some of the areas where we definitely work most heavily. Some of those states include Oregon, Montana, Virginia, West Virginia, as well as Georgia and California. But really, anywhere across the country and just about any state at this point that has forest land, we're currently working with landowners to assess, eligibility for the program. And in this last slide here, we just wanted to highlight a few of the members that are currently enrolled in our program. So as you can see, it really spans across the entire country from New York to Mississippi and Oregon. And using Oregon as an example here, our landowners definitely vary quite a bit from a smaller family forest of 99 forested acres in Oregon up to some of the larger properties that we work with, such as the China Peak Ranch, which is at almost 10,000 forested acres in Oregon. But really across all our members, there are definitely a few key reasons why landowners choose to enroll in our program. The first being family legacy, and in many cases that being tied to their land and really wanting to make sure that the land is passed down to the next generation to be enjoyed by their kids or grandkids or whoever it might be. Many of our members are also very conservation minded and want to make sure that the forest does remain protected and remains intact into the long-term future. And by enrolling in this program, it does provide some sense of assurance for that. And then lastly, the obvious benefit of receiving passive annual payments for a minimum of 25 years and just the financial benefit that can come from that as well.